guys, I'm back to do another painting. I haven't done one in a little while, and actually the last few nights when I've been thinking about pouring, I've been really stuck on colors, and that's not usually the hard part for me. So I really wanted to paint tonight, got everybody in bed asleep, and I thought, I sat here and I stared at my colors. You can see I did a little test pour, but I played with some colors, and I don't know, I was just having a hard time with it. So I went on Instagram to look for some inspiration, and I was looking around at some of the paintings I've done and some Instagram, and I thought, you know what, half the time they don't turn out quite the way you're thinking anyway, and colors mesh in ways you don't expect. So I thought, I'm just gonna pick some colors and go with it, see what we get. So I'm using Apple Barrel White, Master's Touch Ocean Green, Waverly Chalk, this is Truffle, and Master's Touch Brown Red. I just picked those four, kind of just grabbed some. And I'm a sucker for a copper color, so I love that color. And this time I'm using Flood Floetrol instead of the Nova color. I said in another video, the only thing I didn't like about the Nova color, I'm going to continue to use it depending on what look I'm going for, but the only thing I did not like about it was it seemed to have less time that I could mess with the paint and play with the paint. It just kind of, it didn't dry, but it can't think of the word, but you know, it wouldn't, I couldn't move it anymore. So, and I like to be able to pour and then add to or play with it a little bit when I don't, you know, if there's areas I don't like, I don't know, I just like to play with my paint. So I did, in the colors I have about a 1-to-1 ratio of paint to Floetrol and then water to thin. And in the white, I had about 2 parts paint to 1 part Floetrol. And I've seen so many variations on the paint to Floetrol ratio on a couple of the Facebook pages and on YouTube. And so I weighed it mostly because Art Resin said I needed 11 ounces to cover a canvas this size. So I measured it more to make sure I had the right amount of paint than anything else, because I've seen so many different ratios on the paint to Floetrol that I thought, you know, it's not worth measuring. If you haven't been to Art Resin's website, it's great for figuring out how much paint you're going to need. And if you like to use resin, their resin is excellent. I have not added silicone. I'm going to add it to my colors real quick, and then we'll get to painting, and I'll stop babbling. Just going to put the little squirt to the colors. And I think, I said, I haven't really thought this out a ton. I think I'm just going to do a dirty pour. Do not have a lot of the brown. Okay. Cup. And I think I'm going to save some of my white. I'm not going to use, I like to have a little bit of all my colors left. That doesn't give me a lot left. So that I can add if I want to. Let's see, how do I want to do this? I think I'm going to go blue next. But anyway, so if I want to add a little bit of one color when I'm done, I can. You know, when you move the canvas, you know, sometimes colors disappear on you. Sometimes you want a little bit more of one color if something takes over. There you go, coppery. So, I like to put quite all my colors the only problem with a dirty pour on a canvas is, or a flip cup on a canvas that I'm running out of paint, look at that, on a canvas this size, is that you really have to do a lot of moving of the canvas. Look at all those cells. And the more you move the canvas, the more you lose the effects you get. And maybe I did not weigh my as well as I thought. Okay, I like having the darker over here and the lighter over there, so I'm gonna do, let's see, I don't want a whole lot more copper, but a little bit. Blue the next. And some brown. And I found I did a quick pour on Floetrol the other day, just to kind of a test pour. I wanted to see if I had more playtime with it than I did with the Nova Color, and I had a lot of time. I walked away for several minutes, came back and added some paint, moved it around a little, and was able to mess with it for quite a while. So for that reason, I like the Floetrol a little bit better than the Nova Color. Because a lot of times ooh, what was that? I walk away, and then I come back and I look at it, and I like to be able to still have the option of playing with it a little bit. What I'm going to do real quick is mix up a little bit more white to add over here, so I don't have to move the canvas very much. I like having this light right there, and if I move it too much, I'm afraid I'm gonna. So I'm gonna mix some white, and I'm just gonna eyeball this with the Floetrol. Like I said, everybody has a different paint Floetrol ratio, so, and they all seem to work, and I've seen pictures and they all look great, so I'm thinking it's not an exact science with the Floetrol. I hope I didn't just add too much water. I am going to add just a little bit of this blue to the white. So I'm adding plain white. Whoops. Okay. And I'm going to add just the tiniest bit. Start here. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to move the canvas. Oops, there goes my water. Let's see. Sorry, this is kind of a boring part. Okay, I'm gonna stop there, I think. I don't like getting too many of the jagged edges. I get when you tilt too much. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do, add a little bit more of this. I think I'll torch real fast. See what comes up. There's something about it. I'm just not sure. It's copper area. Okay. Mostly the brown is popping through with that. So I'm going to think for a minute. Let me pause if I'm going to just sit and think, because you guys don't want to sit and stare at me think. You might see smoke. Okay. And here. Get a little bit more this copper. Because I don't really care for the way the blue is or the blue. The brown is kind of taken over since I torched. And that's the thing, you're not stuck with you know, what your pour gives you. It's not all luck of the draw. You know, I've certainly had enough of my share of paintings I didn't like the end result no matter what I did, but I see a lot of people say as soon as you don't like it, you know, just pour it off and start over, which is fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I have done that before, and certainly if the colors are not working at all, that's a great option. But I'm gonna do some new gloves just so I don't mess up these sides here. But you know, you don't have to you know, just kind of say either I like it or I don't and be done with it. At that point, you can add to, you can change it, and end up with something you love instead of just pouring it and then saying, oh well, I don't like it, and tossing it. But there's something this needs, and I'm just not sure, and I'm not crazy about these brown cells, so I'm gonna kind of tilt a bit. Let's see if I can get rid of those. This way. Tilting is not my favorite way necessarily once I've tilted a bit, just because I don't know. I'm personally, if it's what you like, then you know that's great. I'm just not crazy about the super wavy lines. But I'm going to pour quite a bit of this off here. Okay. A little bit more. I'm thinking there's a color it needs. these paper cups may not have been a great idea. Okay. That was right. I think I'm going to move it, and then I might, there's plenty of paint under here. I can do a dip painting or something. Oops. See, that's what I was trying to avoid. Okay, so still not super crazy. I think I'm going to mix let's see. Here. I like how this copper is coming under. I don't know if you can see it. Let's see if you can see that, because that's pretty neat. Yeah, I guess you can, right in here. And the copper's under the white, and it's just coming through, and it looks really neat. I might do a swipe right here real quick, and I don't have. This will work. No, maybe. I think what I'll do first. Where's my white? I always take my gloves off to do something, and then I don't put them back on, and then I end up with paint all over my hands anyway. So, end result, what's the point, I guess, but maybe I saved myself a little bit. Just not super crazy about this brown. I have to mix up some more white. Okay. Glove back on. I may have to mix up some more. And I do have quite a bit of paint that I have on the shower curtain underneath, but it's better than not having anything, tilting all of it off. I guess I should say. Okay. Now, let's try. Put a glove on. Another quick tilt. See what that does. That just looks like chocolate milk to me. It's not my favorite look. And I think I'll add I have plenty of the copper left, so I'll add some veins. And just instead of having a lot of dark areas, it's going to be a subtle white kind of painting. That's okay. Let's see. And let me see if I want to. Okay, gloves off again. Gloves on, gloves off.